I got a book up here for potential new members. I'd like you to come up and sign it, make sure everyone signed that. And if anyone's selling anything or looking for something to buy, please write it down. We can post it for you and try to help you out. Mike Toomey, he's here tonight. I haven't seen him for a couple months, and I've been meaning to call him, and I'm sorry I didn't. Mike, where are you, pal? Yeah, Mike's been pretty ill lately. I didn't even know that, and I'm glad you're here tonight, pal, and I'm glad you're feeling better.
Glad to be here.
All right, buddy. Yeah. All right, I'm going to hand this over to Frank.
All right, I just want to talk about last meeting was held at the Burger King Honeydew. The 50-50 was won by John Cacciatore. There were 56 members there, and it was a good turnout. And we had the movie up at Gloucester, and the attendance was pretty good. There was 2 movies scheduled, only one got played because of some technical problem. But we're having it again on the 28th, which is a Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. It's going to be the one we missed last time, was Two-Lane Blacktop. So it's really a good event. It's $5. It's a lot of fun. You get together, and there's good restaurants around there if you choose to go eat something. So I'd like to see that attendance built up. Thanksgiving we had, it was held also at Burger King, and it was 62 people there, which is a hell of a turnout for a rainy morning. And as usual, dependable Carl was there, 5:45 in the morning, the only hot rod to show up in the rain, and he was there. So thank you, Carl. Talk about keeping it.
It is a hot rod puppy.
Yeah, so I've got a schedule for, it's not complete, but I got a schedule for the 2025 here, and I think I'll announce it the next time. We were talking about doing Legendary Motors next meeting, but that's going to be put off. So the next meeting is actually going to be held on the 3rd Tuesday and not on Saturday like we're going for Legendary. That's going to be held on the 21st, which is the 3rd Tuesday. So that takes care of that. We've got
Where's it going to be, Frank?
Burger King. Well, you know,
Like it, don't come.
yeah. You know, we're very, I wasn't going to get into this tonight, but we're very fortunate that we've got the amount of people in this club who have yards big enough and the willingness to hold meetings. And it's 6 out of 12 months are held by club members. And, you know, it's important to have the meetings, but not everybody can do it for a lot of reasons. Yards aren't big enough, there's not enough parking, they just can't do it, the garages are full. So I think we ought to be damn grateful for the 6 that are doing it. And they've been doing it, I've been in this club quite a while, and they're doing it year after year after year. And they put a lot of work into it. Like take for instance Hank. Hank's been doing it for a long time, and he's fortunate. He's got a big parking lot. Even at that, he has to, it's so full with rods that he has to take the regular cars and have them park across, and there's a parking lot over there, which is great. And then he's got Mike Stoloff, who probably prepares for 2 or 3 days and cooks that pork and supplies this club with those sandwiches for $5. Mike deserves a round of applause. We've got 6 months, three on each end of the year that we don't have a place to go. So when Brian Kelly offers this place, or Legendary Motors, or other places that we don't normally go, maybe they're not convenient for everybody, but it is a place to go, and they're nice enough to let us do it, so we ought to be grateful for it, and no complaints about it. So enough about that. So you know what the next meeting is. There's a guy amongst us tonight, Steve Linsky, and he is the manager of Fisher, I believe, not one of the managers at Fisher Auto Parts. Where is Steve? There's Steve right down there, him and Dickie. Dickie works there, and Dickie is the one that brought the little voucher in so that if you use that number, which should be available to all of you, I'm sure it is, it was told at one of the meetings, you can go in there and you get a substantial discount, and they're located in Gloucester, but also he's got other stores around, and it's called Fisher Auto Parts. You're gonna get a Strokers discount. And Steve's he was a mechanic in Gloucester for years, and now he's working in that parts store. So how about a round of applause for Steve? Yeah, it's nice I know John Lyon went in there, and he said he saved over $30 on a battery. So that's pretty good. Okay. That's about all I've got to say at the moment. Tony?
All right, guys, we have a couple of birthdays in December. We have Donnie Kavanaugh, we have Carl Ogren, and we have Sippy Cipriani. And anybody else that's not on the list that's in December, happy birthday. We have another possible new member tonight. It's Robert Butler. Robert Butler is this man right here. Say hi, Robert Butler. So, Robert was sponsored by Barron. He's got his 6 meetings in. I've talked to Robert a few times. Seems like a stand-up guy. I don't know about the ponytail, but, you know, Ross has one, so we're okay. Robert has a 1980 Corvette. It's got a blown 383 in it. He's been working on it for about 11 years. He's a guitar teacher, and he'd like to be in the club. So at this time, we're going to ask him to step out of the room so we can talk about him. So anyone have anything good or bad to say about Robert Butler? No, all good? We're good to let him in? All right, we'll let him in. All right. Somebody wants to wave him back in?
Yellow.
Maybe he changed his mind.
Yes.
Congratulations, Robert, you're in. All right. Well, that's all I got.
Tony, before you get started, well, you can announce it. Just make the correction about the movie. Put it on. Yeah, the movie, somehow it got out on the internet that it was the 21st. It's actually the 28th of this month. So anybody that saw the 21st, if the conversation comes up, Kyle's going to correct it. So it's 9 o'clock, the 28th, Gloucester Theater. And Kyle, and Kyle is, what's that?
What happened to the movie? When we watched the movie the other time and they couldn't show the two-lane blacktop, what had happened?
Something technical, and I don't know exactly what happened, but he said he couldn't, something happened with the disc player. He doesn't normally play discs. He plays some other type of, I've never been in where it all happens. But he has a disc player, and something happened to it, and he got through the first one and couldn't do the second one. So it's unfortunate. And last year we managed to get 2 in, and he says he doesn't mind showing up at 8 o'clock and getting 2 movies in. But I'm finding out that a lot of guys don't want to get up that early. 8 is a little early in the morning on a Saturday for some, especially in a cold weather. So we're just going to leave it at 1 movie, 9 o'clock, and that's what it's going to be. So, and Kyle just informed me that the books are going to be the new membership books are going to be here next meeting, right, Kyle? Okay. So anybody question about the movie? I'd really like to see a good turnout at that. That's really, try it out. It's really good time. The theater's nice. It's something nice to do on Saturday morning, especially in this weather. Okay, thank you. Where'd he go?
Wrong Tony.
All right, guys. I want all of your attention, please. We have a club issue I want to address, and I want you to be aware of all of this. I want to clear up a lot of gossip that's going on in the club right now. Forgive me for having to read this just to keep my focus. The club committee, 5 guys, Denny's not here. We've spent many hours looking for a vendor to do t-shirts, sweatshirts, embroidery, hats. Frank and I in particular, with the support of the rest of the committee. We gave Rich Morrison the job at Tony Calitri's meeting in Danvers. And before we left the building that night, there was confrontation, and Rich was not going to get the job before we left the building. Now, we told him he was not to do the job to his face. Frank told him via email, which he has documented. I told him over the phone. There's no excuse for not knowing. Well, he took orders upon himself, as many of you know, and he went ahead with this when we told him not to. In the meantime, after Calitri's meeting, Frank and I secured another vendor. We had visited several vendors, trying to get the best price for the club, get the best deal we could. This vendor made samples of embroidery for us, gave us hats, took t-shirts from us. She was just waiting for our order to be presented. And then disappointedly, we find out that Rich Morrison is selling t-shirts. Now, this club has been elected by you members to govern the Strokers Club. It's not a lot of fun because I'm not feeling very good right now about what I'm talking about. It's not a lot of fun at all, and we put a lot of hours in. We have a pre-meeting before every meeting. We meet for coffee. We discuss things coming up. Some of these guys, Cheese, Tony Mig, they got work to do. They're taking time out of their work day, not only for the hour and a half meeting we're having, but their travel time. And then we got to put up with this. I don't like it. I don't feel good about it, and I feel it's unacceptable. Now, anyone want to say anything, open this up. We're willing to discuss it with anybody, but just keep it civil, one at a time. Raise your hand, I'll address you. And my tone of voice is saying something. I don't like what happened. Yes, John.
I just want to make sure I'm following this right. Did you say that you told him to do it, and then before the night was over, you...
That's correct.
Can I
Well,
ask-
he dealt with Frank. Let Frank take this.
Can I ask why?
The former board did not allow Rich to bid on the t-shirts. And that was their decision, and apparently they made a good decision. Him and I, when this got started and we'd order t-shirts, I understood that he was interested in it. So we said we ought to give him a shot. He's a member, he's done this kind of work before, why not give him a shot? We had already gone out and interviewed several different companies that could do the work, but we said we're going to give him a shot at it. But there was some conditions. He had to present some prices, which he did get some prices together, I'll give him that. But Bob, I told him, was going to make up the order sheets, a nice simple sheet, not a big convoluted thing, something we could pass out, which we have with us tonight. And he said, no, I'll do it. And I says, well, if you're going to do it, but that we need to have those. The next conversation I have with him, I get an email, and everybody on the board gets an email, that I need to have an okay to go forward with this within the hour. This very busy time of the year, and he went on and on. And he's making it, in our opinion, a demand, but he never presented the order blanks that we asked for. As far as I knew, he hadn't solicited anybody, and nothing was done. And that was in a text. I sent him an email immediately and says, you are not going to do it We don't want you to do the t-shirts. And after that, he had that in the text. After that, I went up, and I also suggested, almost apologized for doing it with an email. And I said, I'll see you Sunday morning at Burger King. He never showed up. Then Barron got a hold of me and says, Rich is up here. Why don't you come up and talk to him? I went up and I looked right at him, and Barron was right in the building. He says, you're not going to do the t-shirts. It's just too confusing. You're not going to do them. Rich stood up and he said to Barron, I'm going to bring your jacket back, because Barron already gave him a jacket, and he stormed out of the building. And at that point, I thought it was over. He's not going to, he understands, he's got it face to face, he's not doing them. Then I find out that he's took orders and he's selling t-shirts, completely against what we requested. Earlier this morning, when I got up, I understood that he was going to bring the apparel to this meeting. And I asked him, I said, the board's decided best if you don't do that. You went out and did this on your own. You can distribute them to the members. They deserve to get their apparel. But in defiance, he brought it anyway. These clubs are made out of a bunch of people that want to get together. We don't need any stress. I've been in this club well over close to 25 years. I don't ever remember one person who's ever gone rogue and does what the hell they want, when they want, and listens to nobody. It's just not conducive to keeping this club together. We went from a very small club when I first started, and we're knocking on the door of 100 people, and everybody in this friggin' room gets along. There's no problems. We don't need this bullshit. So anybody's got any questions about how this went down, I've got emails right here that you can read that he wrote in my reply. So there's no way he didn't know that he was not to do it. He's expressly asked for permission to go forward, and he was told no. So thank you very much for listening. And if you got any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. And I'll pass this email out to anybody who wants to read it.
We good? Heard?
Good for me.
All right. Meeting's adjourned.
50-50.
Sorry. You're all right, Mikey. Issues like this become very mentally consuming, let me tell you. Who's the last winner? Cacciatore?
Chicken or veal?
Cacciatore here. Sorry, I don't know your first name. Not here. Billy, you're up. Why don't you pick it?
Boy, I'm gonna be responsible for all these losers?
Close your eyes, close your eyes.
Watch what you call
I
us.
think this was Donna's sixth meeting too. I think this was Donna's sixth meeting too.
I don't know yet. I got to tally them up.
Okay.
I tally them up. You do 6 meetings, and you're taken in the club on the 7th. All right.
All right,
So I'll tell. I total them all up. See, I go through all the names, and I got a tally sheet here, John. That's how I do it.
Last four numbers.
See,
5980.
I'll tell you. Yeah.
5980. Last four.
Great,
He's
Phil.
a printer, so check in.
Yeah. 5980.
Good for you, Phil.
You're going to need to keep gassing that Ford motor.
Yeah, come on out here, we're gonna get a picture.
$55.
Right there, it's off.
Pictures of me giving money away.
Can I, just one last thing. Can I have your attention? Hello? Hello? We tried something different tonight. We ordered those pizzas, and I've gotten plenty of feedback, and the pizzas weren't that good. So we apologize for it. Let me just explain the reason.
We get our money back?
That's not part of the explanation. The reason we're trying to do this is the pizzas, you're probably not gonna believe this, but pizza night has cost this club $500 for pizza. Because pizzas cost, depending on where you buy them, they're high in the 20s, 22, 25, $28 a pizza. So that adds up. We don't have a problem with that, but I think if we could sharpen our pencil, come up with a place that has more reasonable pizza, that tastes good, and we save a few bucks, because to pay for that $500, we took all of the food money we took in, and all of the 50/50, and took money out of the treasury to pay for the pizza. You can't keep doing that.
Frank, why don't you charge $10?
Well, I'm trying to avoid, or we are trying to avoid charging 10. 5 is great if we can do it. There are a couple of places, I know in Danvers, Market Basket has a pizza that's as big as a spare tire for a car, and their pizzas are good. Next time, we're gonna give that a shot. I mean, if you guys don't like it, or you got any suggestions to, you know, of a place that's reasonable, that we can get the pizza for, and satisfy you and save some money, that is the goal of the club.
I'm more than happy to spend $10 a person.
Well, why don't we have a show of hands?
Me too.
Yeah, but you do it 50/50, so who's paying for it?
Why don't we have a show of hands? Who's willing to go raise it up from $5 to $10?
Oh, yeah.
It looks like we've just raised it to $10.
Good pizza's coming back.
All right, good pizza's on the way. Mike, are you gonna throw in some pork sandwiches too?
What's that?
Are you gonna throw in some pork sandwiches?
Pull pork sandwiches.
All right.
You gotta be more than the pizzas.
Bob?
Someone else said they have something to talk about.
Oh,
Oh, when you...
Yeah, two things. Ken, this is 6th meeting.
what's that?
Ken Taylor.
That's right, he'll be inducted next meeting.
Is it next meeting?
He'll be inducted next meeting.
Okay, just
That's how we do it.
wasn't sure. You didn't want to speak up.
All right, thank you for saying that.
Next time we have it someplace where, like this, or we could have it, I have a friend that owns a sausage cart. And I know for $10 a piece, we've already talked about it. He came to my Swampscott car show. He'll do us all sausage sandwiches, peppers, onions, everything, and grill them and have them all prepped for us, so.
That sounds excellent.
Gladly do that for us.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, there are pizza places around. I don't know what Riverview charges, but that's a hell of an offer right there.
Riverview's tiny pizzas. You need a pizza a person. They're tiny.
They're good, but they're tiny.
Yeah.
So believe me, I mean, we all live in different neighborhoods. If you know some pizza shop and you said, what if I come in here on a Tuesday and give you a heads up? What's the best you can do for the pizza? And you know it's a really good pizza? Believe me, we want to know about it. We're only trying to do the best we can do. Yes?
Hey Frank, how many pizzas do you order?
Well, 16 to 18 and around there, a bigger pizza. We ordered 24 of these tonight because it was smaller and we didn't want anybody not getting some pizza. Turns out it was more than we needed, and I think there's six left, I think. And some people didn't eat it because they didn't like it, which we apologize for.
What size pizza do we usually get?
There's a standard size. I think there's an 18-inch pizza is like your standard one. The one I referred to at Market Basket is like at least a 20-something inch. It's a monster. And they sell it really reasonable, and they only cut it in 4 slices. So if you got that cut in 8 with a pizza that big, that may be the place we need to go. But that's what we're going to give that a shot for the next meeting. We're going to love that sausage Doug talked about. Yes.
Years ago, Frank, before Mike started doing the pulled pork at my...
Excuse me, Hank. Could we have it quiet so we can hear Hank?
Years ago, before Mike started doing the pulled pork at my house,
Yes.
I got pizzas from a place in Danversport, right across from the car wash.
They would do.
In the rug store, and I could work with him. And he gave me a good deal. He knocked off quite a bit.
That's great, Hank. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
We don't make any money on this stuff. We're losing money. We're just trying to break even. We'd be very happy.
We don't wanna lose month after month.
Yeah. So any suggestions, if you don't know it now and run into it, next month, the month after, whatever, we were definitely looking for suggestions. So I want to thank you all for your attention. It was a little contentious talking about what we had to talk about, but it's behind us. Let's go forward and keep this club what it is. It's a good club.
They gotta pass the forms out that everybody wants.
Yes. Bob, you guys interested in shirts, come up here. It's a pretty simple form. You look at it, pick out what you want, and return it at the next meeting with the payment for it, and it'll go in as an order. If we're all done, it looks like we are. Thank you very much for your attention.
Shirts have pocket in it. You can get them with or without.